This meeting is being recorded.
¿Has empezado ya ahora?
Sí.
Okay, perfect.
Correcto.
We are waiting for Laura to be connected in order to make the presentation about the non-financial statement and sustainability information 2024.
Hay uno que debe ser
Ah.
porque se dobla. Sí, ese.
No. Hello, Rodrigo.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can see you.
Okay.
Thank you for your attendance. Welcome to the board meeting. Okay, if you want, you can start with your presentation about the non-financial information. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. I try to share with you a brief presentation about the main result of information of verification. Can you see that the presentation?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let's go. Nice to meet you again. Stay here with you one year more. I believe I proposed that this document I'll share with you was sent before, but my presentation is about identifying the main conclusion about verification report. Okay. In this direction, the principal conclusion that I told you is that the result of our verification work, as you can see, the conclusive outcome is, with not exception, have not identified exception or qualification in our information report. Okay, it's the main conclusion about our work. But we have briefly recommendation, three, as you can see. First of all, key performance indicators. Okay, one second. Okay. One of them, as you can see, plan the ESG information collection process will in advance in order to collect the data over the fiscal year and improve implementing internal controls before. Do you recommend that I told you were recommended in the past year is very important recommendation because to get more strong internal control before the consolidating and making information available to the verifier. Very important recommendation that I told you we recommended the past year. The second one is about the unify the human resources criteria to consolidation data because we identify different systems for consolidation data about human resources. So it's very important unify this criteria for consolidation data about, I told you, and human resources issues, about social issues and non-financial statement. The recommendation about three is regarding to the calculation of salary map and remuneration reporting in non-financial statement, align or in according with the other recommended legal, in this case, Real Decreto 102/2020, because in this recommended law, Real Decreto, as I told you, establish report audit salary gap and remuneration gap between men and women. So it's recommend introduce this information and non-financial statement. Okay. This is the three principal improvement recommendation that I told you when I finished our verification report. And the last one, what is the next steps? We recommend you following and continue the alignment process of align your corporate sustainability report at directive CRSD. ensuring and adjusted for fiscal year 25 and reporting in 26. Because when the first omnibus package will be approved, probably in June of this year, the implementation of GRSD will be start in your company because you are a public interested company, and if the first package will approve, that I told you, officially Clínica Baviera has report aligned to Directive CSD. Probably this first package omnibus will be approved in June of this year. Okay. For this recommendation is continue aligned to process to corporate sustainability report to the recommended of Directive CSD aligned to possible change introduced for omnibus directive. Okay, this is very important recommendation that I give you for this year.
Okay, thank you. Is there any question about this presentation?
Yeah. Any news about when the omnibus directive will be implemented in Spain?
Yeah, that I told you before, probably the directive omnibus or proposal omnibus, the first package of proposal modification will be approved in June of this year. Okay. In this, I mean, when this first package report, package proposal modification of omnibus will be approved, the first conclusion is that the enterprise they are in wave 2, not Clínica Baviera, because Clínica Baviera are in wave 1. So in the wave 2 will be start the application to Directive CSD in fiscal year 27. But it's not your case because you are an enterprise important public. So if when the Directive CSD will be approved in June, in this moment, Clínica Baviera have applied Directive CSD, okay, because this Clínica Baviera are in wave 1, entity information public, okay.
So because we are listed, you mean we are we are supposed to report from this year, if
Okay.
just in case the directive will be transposed by June, but this is not sure still.
Probably will approve in June, but it's not sure.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other question?
No, maybe just one clarification regarding the second recommendation about the databases. I mean, the consolidation criteria for the 4th country are the same, but it is true that the databases are different. And in 2025, we are working on unify this database with a new partner for the whole group, which is Getty.
Right.
So, I mean,
We're
just
working
wanted to clarify that.
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. We'll see that in this year, but in fiscal year 24 we can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rodrigo and Patricia. Okay,
Sorry
for your
for
attendance.
connecting me later, but Rodrigo is well being representative audience, so sorry, but it was a problem with the connection. So
Okay.
nice
Don't
to
worry.
see you again. I love you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
And
you very much. Bye.
see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Elena, as well. Bye. Okay, let's continue with another point within this set of resolution is the proposed of the application of earnings to the general shareholder meeting. Let me share this presentation. Okay. What is proposed is for the general shareholder meeting is the distribution of the profits as follows. Okay, the net profit of Clínica Baviera has been 35.8 million. So the proposal is the distribution of 25.6 million in dividends and the rest 10.2 million reserves. Okay, it means a dividend per share of 1.57 euros. And it means a payout of 62% in relation to the net profit consolidated. Okay, this is the same amount that was distributed in the last year, and as I mentioned before, it has to be approved by the general shareholder meeting, which will be held on 21st May, and the payment date of these dividends will be on 6th of June. This is the proposal for the general shareholder meeting.
But Antonio, the net profit is individual, no? The 35.
Yeah.
And we should compare with the group.
It's
41 million.
41.
Yeah,
but
the
payout
is
will be
with the consolidated.
62 is against 41.
Technically, in the minutes of the resolution has to appear the profit of Clínica Baviera, not the consolidated individual.
But from the investor point of view,
Yeah.
they
Yes, in the announcement we'll make this after this meeting. We'll see that. Okay. And then with this point, the annual corporate governance report I sent you last week. I understand that you agree with that report, so we can consider finish this first point of this block of set of points. So then the audit committee is recommending to the board of directors the approval of the annual accounts, individual and consolidated, to be proposed to the general shareholder meeting. Okay, do you agree?
Yes.
Agree. Then let's move on to the next point. This is the funds to optimize and investment plans for key team. No, Felipe, Manuel, si quieres un momento. At this point, we have to approve the financing to optimize from Clínica Baviera and the investment plan and the related party transaction and conflict of interest. Okay, this is something that we have talked in the last meeting. So let's, but now we have to approve. Okay, this plan. First part is the financing to optimize. As we have been talking, this financing will be made by through ways. The first one is the increased capital in Clínica Baviera UK. Currently, this Clínica Baviera UK is the holding company which holds 100% of Optimax Group. Okay, the current capital of this company is 2 million, 100% held by Clínica Baviera, and the proposal is to increase this capital 5.5 million. Okay, this increase will be made by the key team, which will acquire 1.2 million, which means 60% of the capital. And in this key team is, okay, as you know, Eduardo Baviera and his son, 4%, Luis Gravalos, 4%, Dr. Muñoz and Javaloy, 3.2% each one. And there is something new here, Sonia Nob and Wolfgang Nob, who is her husband. And in this is a new point that Sonia was going to acquire 1.6% in total, but we are going to divide it equally, this position between Sonia Nob and Wolfgang Nob. So
let me explain here.
Okay.
Sonia, who is Sonia?
Sonia is the operational director in Germany and also is making operational role in the UK. Wolfgang is her husband, but also is a very senior management and also is helping us from several years in a part-time basis in Germany and right now in the UK, making the training to the Optos because he has been CEO of a supplier.
But he's not an employee of
No,
UK.
He's an
but
external.
German,
but his
external.
focus is in the UK, putting in value. Then we offered to Sonia the stake, just to Sonia, and she asked us, okay, can we split my stake with my husband, because also he's involved in the UK system. And from our perspective, we think that is positive because he is very senior, he's helping a lot. And for us, it doesn't matter 1.6 divided by 2. That is the change, because it was 2 days ago.
Yeah, his motivation will be much more.
Okay, and then the rest of the capital increase will be made by Clínica Baviera with 4.3 millions, which in addition with the 2 millions that this company already holds, means 84% of the capital of Clínica Baviera UK. And the other way to finance Optimas is with the credit line, a credit line up to 30 million euros by means of through a participating loan, okay, and with the interest of Euribor plus 2% or Euribor plus 3%, depending on the profits of the companies. Okay. So this is proposal to finance Optimas. So any questions about this point? Okay, no question. So let's move on to the following point regarding the co-investment plan. Okay. As you know, according to the legal note of Cuatro Casas, this plan is considered a co-investment plan. Okay, but in order to be sure that it's not an incentive plan, according to this legal note, we have there are 2 requirements. One of them is the transaction has to be made at market value. So the acquisition of capital that will be made at face value is market value according to the report of the expert. Okay, and the exit of the key team. Okay, the put and call as well has to be made at market value. So as you know, the put and call has a formula to calculate the price, and this is the 16 times the Optimas adjusted net profit. Adjusted means that the net profit of Optimas has to be we have to consider that the financial cost that Optimas has borne. Let me explain a little bit because it's not easy for me. We have to take into account not the financial interest assumed by Optimas, but the financial cost assumed by Clínica Baviera. Okay, so we have to, the adjustment is the way you are seeing in that slide. Okay, there is a difference. The difference is the financial cost from intragroup Clínica Baviera minus financial external bank cost from Clínica Baviera. So there is a difference, and this difference has to be adjusted with the net profit of Optimas. I don't know if it's clear what I'm saying, or is maybe Virgilio or Eduardo, you can explain better than me.
I think we have to recalculate the result, the total result. We have to recalculate it, taking in care that the cost that Clínica Baviera has is 0.4. So we have to take out the the plus 3% and to add along with a 0.4. So we are going to change the conditions.
2.6%.
Yes, you are right.
So this is a fixed amount.
2.6. 2.6 euro. So we're going to remove the condition of the market with 0.3. Yeah, sorry, euro plus 3%, and we're going to introduce the loan Clínica Baviera conditions, that is Euribor plus 0.4.
Let me to make an additional explanation about the reason of this. One thing is what is the best for the group in terms of finance. Then the best of the group for finance this transaction is with the participation loan. Why? because when we have losses in Optimax, we don't need to charge any interest. Then it's tax efficient and financial efficient for the group.
Okay.
When we have profit, we need, in the other hand, to pay much more interest. But there is no problem because tax deduction is here and we tax here, then it's efficient. But from the economical global view, according with what we have talked and according with what the independent expert explained, say, okay, if you invest in a vehicle, the reasonable cost for this group and for this transaction in order to make the valuation of the company would be reasonable and the market price standard, the cost of the mother company. Then in trying to invest in the best structure for the current business and the standard to calculate the reasonable incentives for the co-investment plan should be made the adjustment. And if we make the adjustment, we can take the advantage in this way and the advantage in this way. Not very material, but it's important. It's relevant. I don't know if I have explained because it's very complex. You don't pay. No. If there is a profit in Optimax, you need to pay an interest. And if the profit is more than 500 more, that is efficient for the whole group. We try to.
But there is an additional clause that you cannot go below the 50% of the benefits of the Optimax. So do you understand? So it's if you are with 10,000 only positive, we cannot charge a lot of insurance rate, only 5,000. It's the 50% of the total, 50% of the total profit of the company in this year.
Sorry, Evan, you had a question yesterday. I don't know if it's clear now with this explanation Virgilio and Eduardo has given.
Hello, yes, Virgilio. So just on your voice a little bit soft. So let me repeat our question again. So I think again here in this equation, the formula here, can we understand what interest rate is used for the Optimax reported net profit? Because we have the real interest cost, and then in your last email, I think days ago, you told us there was a kind of theoretical cost. So we don't understand what's the reported net profit.
So to calculate the net profit of Optimax, but we have to recalculate not the official net profit. We're going to do a recalculation. We're going to remove the interest rate that Clínica Baviera charged to Optimax, that is Euribor plus 3%. Are we going to introduce the cost that Clínica Baviera has with its loans, that is Euribor plus 0.4. Okay, so we're going to put the differences between Euribor plus 3, between the differences with Euribor plus 0.4. That differences. So the Optimax, what it's going to have is a loan. To do that calculation, Optimax is going to have a loan with the condition of Euribor plus 0.4. That is the same condition that Clínica Baviera has in Spain with its bank loans. I don't know if it's clear or.
And here for the adjustment on the differences, can we understand that's a difference of the interest cost to be subtracted from the net profit, or you want to add back the cost to the net profit?
No, dice que el beneficio neto tú vas a calcular o no has quitado. ¿Cómo has calculado eso?
Tienes el efecto fiscal. Pero eso lo hacemos.
Claro, te pone net profit. But net profit ya han quitado los intereses, ¿no? Eso se supone, ¿no?
Yes, the tax effect we will take care, of course.
Yo entiendo que tú calculas el net profit.
Antes de impuestos.
Claro, antes de impuestos.
Sí, claro.
Si cuando tú quitas el coste, ya
sí, por supuesto.
Díselo
en chino tú.
他这样说的，他说他不是要算这个净利润嘛，像净利润他要减去这个财务的费用嘛，这个财务费用的话，他就是减他那个利息嘛，他就是用那个 CB 的利息，就是5%加0.4啊，就说基本上就是差了个2.6%这样子，就说他们这个融资成本，他就是要低的融资成本。
吴学院，他这个减一个数，这个数是个负数是吧？
不是
要加回来。
5%加3减去括号里面5%加0.4就是2.6嘛，就说这个 difference 就是2.6。
那它的利润就会变小哦。如果减一个真数，它是要减的吗？
不是。Claro, dice, claro, y creo que la fórmula tiene algo, claro que net profit tú después del número estás de 2,6, es un positivo, entonces tiene menos net profit, no puede ser.
El net profit es positivo, le quito el coste, bueno, el coste es negativo, da igual, le quitamos el coste,
Lo importante es aprobar la idea. Optimax reported net profit, es verdad, hay que sumarle la diferencia. El menos es
claro,
más.
Está mal escrito.
Sumarle la diferencia.
Está mal escrito.
Claro, pero si sumarle la diferencia.
A ver, si pones adjusted net profit, adjusted que es igual net profit menos una
Tiene razón,
diferencia.
es más. Queríamos decir más menos, pero es más.
他写错了，应该是加这个地方。
Se va a venir.
是的，写错了。
Sí, el net profit reportado
porque va a ser mayor. Es menor que el net profit pro forma.
Va a ser mayor.
Sumar.
加写错了。
好嘞。
对，还有一个问题就是，这个3%呐。
Eduardo说做的非常好，因为应该是加写错了。
我知道。我选还有一个问题就是这个 Europe 加3%，这一个就是一定要这么高吗？它能不能就是接近这个加0.4一点呀？就是一定要这么高吗？
Dice que realmente necesario sea euro más 3 para UK Optimax. Podrían contado con esto, ¿sabes?
Es que queremos fiscalmente, esta figura nos cubre fiscalmente y es eficiente fiscalmente, las dos cosas. Nos cubre de cualquier problema fiscal y encima es eficiente fiscalmente porque no queremos aumentar las pérdidas cuando no son deducibles.
他说这样加3%是因为为了让税务方面没有问题。如果我们加的太少的话，可能到时候税务一看就是这个价不符合市场规定，因为 Optimax 毕竟这个公司现在没有盈利嘛，所以说如果加太少的话，他们会认为我们是在避税，就可能会被税务局罚，所以就只能就这样子的话，税务上也没问题。就是我们就是一开始就加3%，主要是从税收考虑，然后就是说在算他这个期权的时候，再减去一个，就是说在那个再调回来这个意思。
我懂了，好的。好。
No hay problema, no está diciendo que estamos pagando
Claro.
Vale, sí, ya vas.
Okay.
Antonio, here one more question, Antonio. Sorry. So for the agreement on your at the bottom of your presentation here, to be signing an agreement between Clínica Baviera and the key teams, is it should be Clínica Baviera UK?
No. The partners had to sign this shareholder agreement. It means Clínica Baviera on one side and on the other side has to be signed by the key team. Clínica Baviera and the key team. Clínica Baviera UK doesn't sign any agreement. Okay? Because it's the company. Are the shareholders who sign this agreement? Well, you can see here, Clínica Baviera on one side and the key people, the key team on the other side has to sign this agreement about Clínica Baviera UK.
Okay. And then in the shareholder agreement, will you determine the put and call?
Yes,
clauses?
in the shareholder agreement will be included the put and call, and will be included the rest of the clauses. And these clauses, we are not to include any good lever or bad lever. So this is a very standard shareholder agreement, but it's very important that this agreement doesn't guarantee any success for the key team. Okay, they are investors.
Okay.
是包含了那个
Do they sign Clínica Baviera with each individual one? Okay, it's not the whole group signing the same contract by individually. Okay.
On the expert opinion. he described quite well this operation. I don't know, Evan, if you have seen it, but well.
Yeah, the legal note of Cotecasas, I shared with everyone.
And the expert opinion. Who is this expert? This
Adolfo
Castellano is an independent M&A expert. Is who help us to buy the
Optimax. But he belongs to any firm or any company?
He has a boutique
his
and
own.
he is independent.
Okay.
Okay.
Antonio, sorry, can you browse back to the structure?
Sorry?
Can you move one page back to the, yes. So here it's still we want to still comment on the adjustment on the differences of the interest cost. So here, because we understand Clínica will provide loans to CB UK and at the same time to Optimax. So we just want to share, we just want to make sure that the adjustments on the interest cost includes the interest on CB UK as well. Is it?
It's only Optimax, I think.
Only Optimax.
Yes, but the important part of the loan would be the important part of the loan will go to Optimax. Then the crucial is the adjustment in the Optimax loan, because the loan provided from CB to CB UK is very small. Then the important is to make the pro forma in Optimax in order to have the full advantages.
不少的，因为它的收购款有1100万，后面还有所有的收购款都要从 CBUK 的那个，就是我们要确认，就是这个利息是包含在里面。你说我们的意见是要包含，是要加起来的。
Okay, so I think here our comment is that for the interest rate adjustments, just make sure that all the adjustments includes all the interest cost for the project. The project means that whatever Clínica borrows lends to CBUK or Optimax, the interest cost should be all considered, because because the Clínica provide loans to both CBUK and the Optimax.
Well, we can take that idea, but having said that, the important, for instance, 98% of the loan will be directly from Clínica Baviera to Optimax. For that reason, we have focused in that. But taking your idea, we can make the adjustment to the global.
我知道，就是还是需要包含，因为它是股本的这个融资就更要包含。就是我们认为还是要包含，就是不管金额多少。
Yes, I understand, Eduardo. So regardless of the amounts, because they are borrowings, right? So we think it should be include all the interest costs.
Without adjustment. You mean without adjustment?
Quiere tener en cuenta, yo he entendido eso. Quiere ajustar todos los costes. Todos los costes estén incluidos. 100% del coste.
And then maybe for the
I agree with you. We will put in that way. Lo que quiere decir es que tenemos que computar como interés todo el préstamo, bien sea al vehículo intermedio o al final.
因为跟这个项目是相关的，是与支付这个份收购款的，所以一定要含进来。
So Eduardo, I think the idea is if the loan from Clínica Baviera to Clínica Baviera UK is for this is for the operation, is for the running of the business, then we think it should be included in the adjustment. Yeah. So that's our idea, because it's well, we understand the key members invest in Clínica Baviera UK, but the Clínica Baviera UK still take small portion of the loans, and then there are small portion of the costs. So that should goes to the adjustments as well. So that's our idea.
Yes, I agree with you. It's reasonable to make the total amount loan from Clínica Baviera to put in the interest rate in order to take the KPI of the net profit of Optimax in order to make the valuation of the company. Virgilio, you think is right?
Yes, it's right.
Okay.
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 Thank you.
Thank you. Then, and the other part of this point is insofar two members of the key teams are the CEO and the other one is the senior management. They are related persons, so it's necessary to analyze this plan from commercial regulation and from conflict of interest and related party transaction regulation. So regarding to the conflict of interest, the ARC has to issue a report where considered if there is a waiver of the conflict of interest, and according to the draft we have shared in the last days, based on the legal note of the experts, the ARC considers that the conflict of interest is compatible with the position of the CEO and senior executive if the conditions set out in this report are met. So, and the other point is the related party transaction, where there is the audit committee has to issue a report where consider that the transactions are fair and reasonable. And in the same way, we have shared a draft report where based on the opinion of the independent expert, the audit committee considers that the related transactions are in the company's best interest and they form part of the strategy and development project of the company and its group in the British market, which is a fundamental part of the company's long-term strategy. So if you agree with these reports, then both the related committees are recommending to the board of directors the approval of this, or the waiver of the conflict of interest and the approval of the related party transactions. Okay? Yes. Agree? Okay, perfect. Then this point is finished, and we can continue with the following point is the follow-up of Clínica Baviera, Italy. Ana, Sergio.
Yes, Sergio, le llamo yo.
The country manager of Clínica Baviera, Italy is going to connect to explain and to report this point.
Estos detalles se deberían de acordar antes, ¿no? Aclarar antes con una notita.
Si les pasamos correos.
¿Eh?
Adelante.
Sí, al ataque.
Sí, pues al final materialmente aquí no hay mucha diferencia, ¿no?
Lo pasamos hace unos días.
Ya.
En la fórmula, pero no sé si se entiende, si no se entiende, si nos equivocamos o no. O sea,
Sí, al final.
un poco al final.
Te puedes encontrar con las ideas. Pero no sabemos cómo vamos a financiar esos 5, a lo mejor es capital. Y entonces no tiene coste. Eso lo dejamos abierto. Well, now we are listening to the team in Italy, especially running by the country manager. Let me to introduce the country manager during this. Sergio Ares is a doctor, a very relevant doctor that joined us around 17 years ago, and he has been working in a clinic in the north of Spain. 4 years ago, we introduced in the management team, and he was very brilliant, his role, and he ran all the training program that has been very important for this period of time. And after that, we moved him also to the digital project because I wanted to become a digital team with technicals, medical and operationals to make the software much more engaged with the medical team. He also did it very well. And after that, we moved him to, okay, would you like to go to Italy to run all the process? And Emilio helped me to make some Sergio, hello.
Hi, good morning. You hear me?
Yes. Hello, Sergio. We can. Welcome to the board meeting.
Sergio, I'm making an introduction of you.
Sorry? Okay.
I'm making an introduction of you to the team and especially all your career in Clínica Baviera, in digital project, in medical management, in training, and also in some programs that are helping all the doctors to be docs, especially in the project going up that we have explained in here. Then,
Sergio based?
Right now in Milano.
In Milano.
And 2 years ago, we invited him to move to Milano and to become, not a doctor, to become a manager. Then he has the good idea for Clínica Baviera model, that is I try always to combine the medical side from the management side. When we started, is because my brother is the doctor and I'm so. Then we try, Sergio, would you like to change your life and to move to the management area, not forgetting the medical side, because it's very important, of course. Then this is something, and he told me, okay. And after that, okay, your wife, let me to talk with your wife, because you need to move to Italy. And yes, I am okay. And he's right now, you are in Italy running 1 year, no?
Yes. May it will be 1 year.
Okay. And that's making everything. And it's a privilege, because in Italy we need to improve the medical commitment and the medical training. Then he has both sides. When he's talking with a doctor, he's talking like a colleague.
Yeah.
And when he's okay. And in Italy, well, Sergio, let's go to make the update of Italy and what you're doing and how you see the project.
Okay. I'll share a presentation with you. Please let me know if you can see it.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So as Eduardo is saying, the new management team, we've been here more or less for a year. And this first year, we've focused on analyzing the situation and searching ways to improve it. To tell you about the work we've been doing, here are with me today Marcella Nebulone, our head of finances, and Edu Baviera, head of operations. So I'll let Marcella first make us an introduction about the situation of Italy today and the last years, so we can have some background to understand the changes we want to make.
Hello to everybody. I'm Marcella. And first of all, thanks to give me the opportunity to be here today. I start with told you who is Clínica Baviera Italia at the date. Is the leader in Italian market for the reconstructive surgery. When we talk to the history of Clínica Baviera, we can divide principle it in 2 periods. The first period was not a fortunate period because during these years that are 2000 to 2004, the laser treatment will done principle in a public system, so comport that private is not show with relevant importance in the sector. And first, in this year, unfortunately, there is other bad law that not permit to the private health structure to do marketing and let us to give a positive approach to the market. This combined with the fact that the company was located in this year in a non-commercial zone, and the state of the market led to this, the management, the Spanish management, to close the company. Fortunately, in 2006, the market was changed, and the management decided to refocus the business in Italy. In the end of 2008, we opened a new clinic in the center of the city of Milan, and this is the start from the grow up the Clínica Baviera Italia. And then we close we close the 2000. Here we can show the increase of the business in Italy, starting to 2009 with less than 1,000 ACE treatment and a turnover of 1 million. And fortunately, we have to start in this period to open your mind and open new structure. In fact, in 2011, we opened a new structure in Turin, and in 2014, we opened a new structure in Varese. This comported that we can close the 2014 with 2,050 treatment and a turnover of 3 million euros. But these increasing are not able to make a profit. This especially because, for example, the Clinic of Turin are not a complete clinic, because it's only in 2017 that we have the permission to make also cataract surgery. During the period 2011-2016, we have to move the people that have the necessity to make a cataract surgery to Milan with a bus. Comported that we have a lot of cost that we have to sum to normal activity. Fortunately, the point of turnover is in 2019, when we bought a new clinic, Clinica Torreva in Venice, and opened other one in Bologna. At the end of the 2019, in fact, we can close with a master of 5,000 ACE treated and 10 million euro the turnover. In 2020, during the pandemic, COVID pandemic, we didn't expect to continue our growth, and indeed it did not stop there. With the closure of mass public ophthalmology department and the growing waiting list for cataract surgeries, the marketing increasingly shifted toward the private sector. This is most important for us because we have had a lot of patients that switch to the public to our clinic. This permit to close in 2024 with a turnover of almost 20 million euros and an EBITDA of over 2 million euros. Now I would like to focus on the market of Italy, that is quite different respect the Spanish and generally to Europe market. In fact, in the past, it's only in the last few years that LASIK and the chirurgy of presbyopia are growth. Because in the past, the relevant technique was only PK. Another important difference between Italy and, for example, Spanish market is that in Italy there are not the only one competitors that we have is VistaVision, and we cannot define really our competitor because VistaVision have a completely different business respect Clínica Baviera Italia. VistaVision have a B2B business and non B2C business come have Clínica Baviera. Another difference is that Italian is a fragmented market with thousands of smaller medical have their small clinic, and a lot of these medical are not able to make surgery. This is porque the medical ophthalmology during her the medical training are not approached to the surgery. This type of market is an opportunity to an important investment fund. In fact, last year, fund Hardian have bought VistaVision. We thought that this is an opportunity for Clínica Baviera because Clínica Baviera Italy is only company in Italy that have an approach to the patient. We have what can I say? That we have the Spanish experience that to look for, so we can grow our in our sector. In this slide, we can see the clinic that we have at the date and the city where we are present at the moment. Thanks.
So if you allow me a little joke about my clinical background, I'd say we already know the patient, and we'd like to share with you which are our diagnoses for the country, and also with treatment plans we are implementing. I'll first talk about the strategic plan for the country, and then Edu will tell us about the specific local plans that we are already implementing. The two areas we think that impact the most on the results we have are the lack of medical direction and the small geographical footprint we have here in Italy. With medical direction, I mean there's no medical leader from some years, and also that we don't have a clinical training that also impacts on our quality. And then we have a little number of clinics, and they are all in the same area in the north of Italy. So we don't have a expansion capability, or we don't have it that allows us to grow. When I talk about the lack of medical direction, I'm mainly talking about the last 3 years, from the moment we have let go Dr. Moschi, that was making this role. But even the prior years, the line of work he was making was not really aligned with the global medical direction from Spain. So it was always a factor that led to Italy diverging, we could say, from the Clínica Baviera way of doing things. This had led to the point where we have no clinical protocols, no protocols for indication, for treatment. There's no a medical training program in this moment and for some years. And also, for me, it's important the headquarters have had no counseling when making decisions that are medical related. And that's always important because it sometimes leads to problems of making some decisions that later it's difficult to get back. The result is that in this moment, our medical quality is under the standards of Clínica Baviera in some cases, or in most cases, I would say. There's a low indication rate, meaning so many patients are said they cannot make a surgery. That is not, and that's not necessarily true. And that is a great problem, both from a medical and business point of view. And all this led to a conversion rate 25% lower than the one in Spain, for example. Also, there's, as we said, a lack of medical strategy. Main of all, talking about technology acquisition, that is so important because also from my point of view, it interferes also with the rest of countries. Because when one make an acquisition of a technology, sometimes it implies why the other countries don't make it. No? So this is very important that it's always aligned with the global medical direction for me. What are we doing to change it? We are focusing on reestablishing a medical leadership. Always coordinated with the global medical direction of Gonzalo Muñoz. We make two choices of local medical directors. That would be Dr. Cecchini and Dr. Bosone for our biggest clinics, as are Milano and Torino. With them, joined by me, we've created we call it medical committee. And the role of this committee is to help take or make a counseling for taking important decisions and also creating protocols that we are already working on. Also, being part of the medical training, creating a protocol, create a training program for the doctors that we onboard. Also, sorry. Also, we are pushing on implementation of the digital tools we have already available as going up for a second opinion in cases doctors may have problems with the recording of surgeries, the video recording for later review and quality assessment. So we think these changes will lead to a situation that's each time better, especially with new doctors that we could be onboarding. As we will talk in the other important thing is our geographical footprint. We are reaching at this moment more or less 20% of the Italian population. It's true that it's the richest 20%, but with only 8 clinics just in the north, we can't reach more than that. Also, we have low expansion capabilities. Why? Because we don't, or until recently, we didn't have an expansion team. We lack key partners as contraction partners. And also a limiting factor is always hiring new doctors that we didn't have a professional recruiting management. So this would be a problem also. What are we doing to change it? We have already hired an expansion team. We have an in-house project manager. We work with a local engineer. Also are finding competent construction partners. We have especially one we are working very, very good with, named Polito. And also we are in the process of hiring a medical recruiter, just doing that. And that with the new training program for doctors, we think we can make a really interesting offer for new doctors that in this moment no one's in Italy makes such a thing because it's a very closed world. They don't want to teach other doctors, so we think it's an important offer, also an interesting offer for them. But we have to take it to the world. We could say. With this approach, we expect to open 3 surgical clinics and 14 satellite clinics by 2030. And that would lead us to reach 70% of the Italian population. It's quite ambitious, we know, but with just the initial changes we've made last year and the beginning of this year, we are planning to open three clinics this year, as we saw before with Marcella. In the last 5 years, we've opened 2, and we are planning to open 3 in 1 year, where we think that's an advancement. And 1 in Torino, 1 in Imola, that are already in works, and in an earlier phase, 1 in Parma also. Also, we have a plan that's not yet so advanced, but we are also making a study of the legislation, the normative in Rome, and making a prospection also of locals for a surgical clinic. And we have seen some local that is really nice, and we think it could fit. So we're working also in that direction. To take all that plan to action, we need a strong team. That would be our structure as today. As you can see, Edu, he's head of operations, but we really work together, and we interact with all departments and work as a team, as I was saying. Here we don't have a local IT department because it's really integrated into the Spanish team. And for all departments, we have a strong connection with the headquarters in Spain, especially with the director of each department in the main country, we could say. If I go into brief details of each one, finance is a mature department. It provides support for all the other departments and also the clinics, and we just are working on enhancing the reporting to take those above all those medical decisions with data. Marketing is growing. It's based on digital now, and we need better reporting for making decisions based on KPIs, and we think with Salesforce we'll get to that point. HR, we have a great junior team that we hope that will grow with us, and we are bringing internalizing processes thanks to a CRM implementation as is Suketia, a local software that we are also studying for other countries. Regarding quality and insurance, it was great. Insurance here is so important. It is about 30-40% of our business because they also they pay for refractive surgery. That is very different from the situation in Spain. So it's very important for us. We are trying to professionalize it, and we'll split these 2 areas into 2 different departments soon. The call center is working quite well. It's true that it's quite kind of outdated, and we have poor reporting. So we will just hire a new head of department that will lead into this renewal with new technology, as told this Salesforce. Our legal department is quite understaffed. It's only a part-time collaborator, and we are moving probably later this year into an in-house team. And for the expansion team, I've already talked about it. Here, it's missing on purpose the most important department in Clínica Baviera, that are the clinics, and of that, I'll pass to Edu to talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, in Italy, in terms of clinics, we have 2 really differentiated worlds. Now we have, first of all, we have Milano and Torino. that are the clinics that have been open for more time. They are B2C business model. They follow more or less Clínica Baviera protocols, so let's say Clínica Baviera Italia protocols, and they of course have a higher profitability. In the other hand, we have Bologna and Venezia that work more on a B2B business model. Bologna is a 30% revenue B2B, and Venezia is a 55% B2B revenue business model. Of course, they have lower profitability, but in a particularity is that they have really autonomous optos that help a lot doctors in their first visit, so they can have a more efficient agenda. We also have two different types of workforce groups, let's say. One are doctors that, as Sergio said, we have to improve the medical quality, and also they have a little low commitment. Low commitment in terms of time. For example, in Milan, we have doctors that only come 2 days a week, also in Bologna. But with medical training that is really valuable for doctors, they will start to have more commitment, those that are open-minded. In Milano and Torino, doctors are more open-minded to change, and in Bologna, they are really close to change. We will talk about this more furtherly. And in Venice, all these past years was a little bit reluctant to changes, but thanks to the arrival of Sergio Ares and his knowledge, our internal doctors there are really happy with him and are learning a lot, and they're already changing a little bit their indication. So this in the case of doctors. In the other hand, managers, optos, patient assistants are really motivated, really open-minded to changes. We have already implemented some changes in this area for working really closely to the Spanish operation teams. We have changed the sales speech, we've changed agenda management, and they are really, really, really happy. And also, in the moment that doctors have a better indication, they will help managers of those MPAs improve conversion. As for an example, right now we are over-indicating toric lenses that are more expensive and are more difficult to sell, and also with the ITL, because ITL versus laser. In some cases, we are over-indicating also this, and it frightens more the patient, and also it's more expensive, of course. Then going a little bit into each clinic, Milano, as you can see in the numbers, has experienced a great increase in number of eyes with a 52% conversion rate and an EBITDA margin of 16%. Here in Milan, we have a really motivated manager that pushes a lot the people. She works really close to PAs optos, but he doesn't work so much with the doctors. So we are helping her to improve this part, and also organizational tasks, also in collaboration with Spain, and also with Dr. Cecchini becoming medical director. He's helping her to improve also relations with doctors, to understand better the doctors. In terms of doctors, they are open-minded. Let's say this is the second clinic most open-minded to changes, and we are really seeing this, and we expect to increase conversion and indication rates thanks to this. We also want to train optos, so they can support doctors on the first visits, so we can have a more efficient agenda. And with patient assistance, we've recently, the last year and a half, we've changed a little bit our recruitment strategy, and we are now more driven. We are searching more commercial profiles. As before, we are looking more for administrative profiles. We've seen this with the last 3 recruitments. These PAs have a lot of, they have very good numbers. And also a little bit to give you an insight, potential openings in Milano could be Novara, Bergamo, and Pavia, all of them under 60 kilometers from Milan, from our surgical clinic with interesting numbers of population. Then we would have Torino, that has the highest conversion rate and highest margin here in Italy. Alex Bosone, that is the medical director that Sergio talked before, is the most aligned with Clínica Baviera medical protocols. We can see this here. He's always been really the medical director. We've now formalized it. Let's say it like this. But his knowledge, you can see his knowledge in the clinic. The other two doctors are really also aligned with these protocols. So we can see this in the numbers. In terms of the manager, in Milan it was a more PA optos orientated. Here is more oriented to the doctors. If she is Francesca is an opto, so you can see. You can understand why is this, no? And we are helping her to improve also planning and organization, agenda planning and organization with the Spanish team, and also teaching her how to be closer to the PAs, to motivate them, so the PAs see that this manager is with them, no? Doctors, we have to help Alex Bosone do the medical training, not only for doctors in Torino, but also from other countries, as Alex Bosone has the best, has the most aligned medical protocols. And optos happens a little bit like Milan. We have to train them in order to support doctors on first visits and increase agenda efficiency. Patient assistants in this clinic, they're really great. So what we have to do is continue training them, but it's a really, really good team. And also, Torino doesn't have a really great satellite potential, as Torino is a really big city, and near Torino there are really, really small cities. So interesting would be Alessandria and Cuomo. Cuomo may seem a little bit far, but medical offer in this area is not very big. So we believe that it would be a great opportunity. We already have had patients from Cuomo, more than one, more than two, that are telling us, why don't you open in Cuomo, come to Cuomo? So yes, it could be also another interesting opportunity. Then to Venice. Venice, it was an acquisition in 2019. It was practically a B2B model. It was practically a B2B model. We've been trying to change this a lot in the times. Recently, the manager has decided to leave the company. We think this is a really good opportunity because this manager was a little bit reluctant to changes. And also it's a good time because Sergio has arrived and has started to train doctors, and they are really, really grateful for this. Not only young doctors, that would be, it's a little bit surprising, but also really, really experienced doctor. As you can see in this photo, here is Sergio doing a training course there in Venice a couple of weeks ago. So really in Venice, what we have to do is change everything, to be honest. We have to change all process, all circuit patients from all the perspective, and also how are we going to do this? We're going to do this with presence, being in the clinic, also with the help of the manager from Milan, and also in working really working a lot with the Spanish operations team. And
sorry to interrupt. Can you explain for me to understand a little bit better what is the difference between B2C and B2B? Because I don't see the point of B2B in a clinic.
B2B in a clinic would be, yes, of course. It would be that your client is the doctor, in the terms that is the doctor makes a first visit, for example, in his private consultation, and then comes to us only to do the surgery.
is when you rent the surgical sites to
It's
doctors.
like un autónomo. Okay, I
Tú le
understand now.
alquilas los.
Yes, it's like it's hiring installation. The doctor decides everything, the price of the patient, lenses.
Yeah.
The patient is from the
Yeah.
doctor, and you rent and you charge.
Yeah.
But we charge everything to the patient. We charge all the full amount of the
bill.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
In the model, this is the model in Venice.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And as you can see, EBITDA margin is quite low, and conversion rate, as the clinic works really different, we don't have conversion rate data, but we believe it would be around 30-40%, because we also do a smile in this clinic, which doesn't work great, we believe, as it's a technique that we believe it doesn't give that much to the patient, and it's a really big price increase. What we are doing, at August, we should change the femto, because it's old, it has 12 years, and we are not going to buy the smile module. We're going to go to the LASIK. We're doing the LASIK strategy, and doctors are happy with this choice. They are not really they're not sad for leaving the smile strategy. We have to recruit a new manager that we are already in search. And here we would have 3 really attractive potential satellite openings that would be Padova, Vicenza, and Verona. All of these with more than 100K population. And lastly, we have Bologna. Bologna happens a little bit the same. It's a B2B business. We lately stopped working with the manager as she was not aligned with our business model. And also here, one of the things is that we only have one full-time doctor that honestly is not aligned with our medical view. And we would like to stop working with him, but as we only have one full-time doctor, we are in search of one, and we can substitute him. We will stop working with him. And doctors here are also really good. They are really autonomous, like in Venice, to teach them the Baviera protocols or the Baviera indication, but they're really trained, and also PA are really well trained, but we have to keep improving. Thank you very much.
Okay. So to sum up a bit, we're making a little comparison of the P&L of some things for the P&L of Spain and Italy. As you can see, one difference is the expenses on consumable. That's mainly because of Italian regulations. Here, everything has to be single use, so that always is more expensive. But also because of a cultural just with everything we need and nothing else. The medical expenses are also higher, mainly because of the B2B model, because we charge everything to the patient and then pay most of it to the doctor. So that's because the number is so different. Also because in some clinics they need support for surgery. Not every doctor is in for surgery, autonomous, we could say, and so they need an extra doctor that sometimes have a higher expenses, we could say. The rest is more or less on the line. The indirect costs are higher, mainly because of business scale, and we hope to lower them when we grow. And also because if we can make the conversion rate better, we'll also have a bigger base to start with. The rest we can say is more or less the same, but the result, of course, the EBITDA is also different. It's higher, as we could say, as we could see firstly in the web clinics, Milano and Torino, and we hope to take all the clinics to that levels and also make them higher so that it's more similar to the Spanish one. To sum up, I would say we have a great market moment in Italy. It's an immature market. There's no one doing what we do, and we have that's a high I think that makes a great opportunity in this moment for Italy. If I can spare a minute, I'll tell you a history about we had this week about this of training. You know, that here is so close the training. Nobody wants to teach no one, and we have one doctor that did a refractive surgery course just 2 days on our competitor on VistaVision, and he fall in love with the refractive surgery, and we wanted to work in this, and he searched where can I learn, no? And he saw he knew us, and he called our call center and said he wanted to work with us, and he came to Milano. We knew him, and he was quite a great guy. So I explained to him that we were interested in working with him, and explained to him all our training program we are already developing. And I think, joking a bit, he at one point thought it was a scam because he couldn't believe no one offers that. And so next day he called us and tell us he will be more than happy to work with us full time, go to wherever clinic we want. So we think like him, there's such a lot of young surgeons wanting to learn and to work well and make great refractive surgery, and there's no better place than with that. I think so. We think we have a great opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Sergio.
No, just
Any questions?
yes. No, just a comment, general comment. You know, I mean, Sergio, I think, I mean, you are working very well. I mean, you have a great plan, you know, and you are doing your best. Let's say to fix the business there. You know, changing in all the medical operation, the training, the backup infrastructure, and so on. You know. And you are trying to turn around the business in Italy. I don't know. I wonder, you know, if we are not being enough ambitious, you know, and plan for double or triple the business in the next 5-6 years, you know. What kind of resources you need to do so, you know, to really get up, you know, and go beyond, you know. Do you I mean, I somehow miss some ambition in the sales and EBITDA projection for the next year. That's my comment from top of my head.
No, it's logical. Okay, we have not wanted to go into number projections, I mean, but we think if we just getting better the clinics on the east and enhancing a bit the general numbers also in Milano and Torino, we think the market ask for it, we could say, no? So within there's, as I said, the plan is of course ambitious, and we'll have to see where we can get. But I think as I was saying, the opportunity in the market is there, and just get we could support that growth, but of course we have to it are changing. I don't know if more or less that answers the question, or you want exact numbers. I don't know if the experts for numbers want to add anything else.
No, the idea, Emilio, in terms of Italy, the idea that, and we are in line, is to make always a comparison with Spain. What we try in the group is to put the Spain as highest as possible, and to make a comparison with other countries in that, and to make the difference lower, because Spain is here and Italy here. Then, in terms of what we can do, if we open in Rome can cover the center of the country and also the south. Naples is 100 kilometers from Rome. Then if we go there and all things that is going to change, that if we are in the good way, we think that we can reach 25 clinics in the medium term and more than 50 million euros revenues, or 60 million euros. In Spain, we are doing close to 200. In Germany, we are doing 60 million revenues. If we reach more than 50 million revenues, and with the margins as we have in the group in Spain and Germany, great. And we can do.
Well, no, I mean, since the market is prepared, as Sergio is very well explaining, I mean, and the company has the resources, because we are producing cash and more cash and cash and cash. I mean, we have resources. No, my question, just from top of my line is, should we speed up the process in Italy to go further, quicker?
We are doing. We have moved.
I mean, that's the
Italy.
only...
We have landed, but we take your idea, we take your positive push, and in order to make, because always you can push or you can push a little more.
Yeah, the most important thing, sorry, Sergio, is to set up a good basement, and then from that you have to build. But I was wondering, do you help them on the expansion in Italy or not?
In terms of, we just acquired the Venice clinic.
Yeah.
But we are not looking for. It's true that there are a lot of opportunities, but small clinics owned by ophthalmologists. But we are not focusing on acquiring. We prefer to go to grow organically
we love organic.
Okay.
I think the main bottleneck maybe in Italy also to speed up the growth maybe would be the doctors. No? It takes a little bit of time to recruit doctors and to train them in order to be in the same way that we have here in Spain, and I think that could be the main bottleneck to increase growth.
Yeah, but I think it's important to be connected with your experience, because you have been involved in all the expansion here in Spain, and if we can mirror that experience in Italy, because at the end of the day we are similar countries, and I think that would be good.
And in the past, there wasn't a person in charge of doing
now with Sergio will be better.
Sergio said also that we are going to have someone in the field looking for places, new premises to open the clinics.
That person will be connected to you?
No, I'm not in charge of the organic growth. Is another team. But they are connected.
But it's a team belongs to Clínica Baviera?
Yes. Clínica Baviera. The construction team, on openings team, it is 100% connected to Milano, to Italy. In the beginning, there was a team managing all the openings around Europe, but now there will be someone in Italy, someone in Germany, someone in the UK taking care of these openings.
Yeah, but what I'm referring to, that is a pity that having all your knowledge from having, well, you have done it in Spain. So don't forget to connect all that knowledge with the people in Italy, because they could learn something from
But it's true
what
that
you have done already.
But
here.
the reality in each country is different in
Yeah,
terms
I
of
can
licenses,
imagine.
in terms of it takes a little bit longer in Germany and in Italy to open a clinic than in Spain.
We could say, Carolina, that we could say that right now, the momentum of the company right now, we are quite high level of connection of everybody in headquarters. We like to work like if we would be one country in medical management. We are all together. Also in the UK, that is resident digital openings, strategy, marketing, medical device. We try to see and to say we are a company that we are running 140 clinics. Instead, we are running 4 countries. And we are quite high level, but all the headquarters, for instance, legal is here, Antonio and Teresa, but in every country, they have the colleagues.
Yeah, of course.
But we are quite high level of integration, no? Virgilio, you are in the company from the beginning. Yes. Right now, we could say that we are in a momentum that we are quite well connected, all the areas, no? More than in the past, more 10 years ago or 15 years ago.
Yeah, no. The connection is because the team in Italy has been in Spain, in Germany as well, and now in UK we have a lot of relation together. So we have the Slack, we have the Teams, we have a lot of tools now to.
The spirit is to work like one company, and we have quite unique model that I don't know how long it's going to be. Is in every country, any country manager is Spanish. It's not because I love, it doesn't matter. Because I am not, it's because the connection is higher. Yes. In the UK is Juan Luis and Luis, in Germany is Luis, in Italy is Sergio, and in Spain is Marisa, that will come also to explain. That makes, we have a monthly meeting or that try to connect very quickly.
Yeah,
and it's working.
That's important, the interaction between the heads.
The idea is to grow very good.
Okay.
If I can add a few things regarding the questions. We did work with Felipe making an opening strategy, so we have a list of possible cities to open. Then we are also based on the availability of doctors. That is so important because we can think a place is great, but if we don't have staff, it's difficult to find. And then for talking about the momentum and the rhythm, we do think there's a great opportunity, but we also want to be sure, as you said, that we kind of mend the basis, not growing over something that is not stable or is not profitable. Because, for example, the 2 last openings were, or an acquisition was Bologna and Venice, and that's where we have the problems today because we didn't follow the Baviera model, and it's not so profitable. It gives more problems, more difficult to manage. So we want to be sure we kind of mend everything, and then over that, we think it would be exponential if everything goes through the plan.
Okay.
Thank you, Sergio.
Thank you.
And let's take the idea from the directors, especially to make a rethink how we could make faster what we have in our hand, in our mind. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seguimos con la. Sí.
Muy bien. Gracias.
¿Unas cuentas? ¿No?
Sí.
Va.
¿Os ha gustado?
Sí.
¿Los italianos?
Más difícil.
están buenas, ¿no? Sí, sí.
Más
Lo
difícil y
tienen
con
más,
un challenge
más
mayor.
complicado, sí.
Sí. Pero...
Sobre todo veo que no es cuestión de dinero, sino también
de
de
equipo,
buscar doctores.
de equipo,
Sobre todo
de
el
equipo.
punto principal son los
Les
doctores
falta.
y que los doctores están alineados con nuestra política.
Claro.
Eso es fundamental.
Que
Entonces, por
entiendan.
mucho que tú puedas crecer muchas clínicas, muchos tal.
No.
Si el
Y
doctor
por eso
está
es
alineado con
fundamental poner unos
nosotros,
buenos cimientos.
por eso, bueno, el director general es
Sí.
un doctor, o sea, que nos viene fenomenal.
Súper bien.
Pero muchas veces no sabes qué es el huevo o la gallina.
Sí.
Aquí a veces, Virgilio, acuérdate que abríamos clínicas sin tener médico y mandábamos un médico de fuera, como hemos hecho ahora, y lo hemos hecho muchas veces. A veces si te metes presión, te espabilas. En lugar de...
Es como Trump, esto es lo que ha hecho Trump con Europa.
Sí, nos ha puesto
No
las
tiene nada que
pilas.
ver. Estábamos durmiendo y ha dicho, y ya estamos despiertos, ya estamos
Sí, vamos, estamos...
mal comparado, claro.
Fenomenal.
Muy bien, bueno, pues sale.
Muy bien, gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Let's continue with the agenda. The next point is the director remuneration. This board of directors has to propose to the general shareholder meeting the director remuneration for 2025. And according to the previous meeting, the proposal will be independent directors, 60,000 euros per year, each one. And in relation to the executive director, okay, the amounts that were approved in the last meetings, I think it was in November 2024. We will ratify the remuneration received in 2024, okay? And as well, we have to approve the annual director remuneration report that I shared in the last days with you. And in addition, we have to approve the new policy director remuneration 2025-2028 because the current policy expires this year. So, okay, the general shareholder meeting, according to the recommendation or the proposal from the AR committee, has to approve the new policy, which keeps or maintains the same criteria, the same wording that the current one. Okay. So, any questions? So let's move on to the auditors. Okay. We have to propose to the general shareholder meeting the election of Forbes Mahars for the audit to audit the individual and consolidated annual accounts for the 2025. And is approving as well the auditors independence report 2024. Okay, and I'm going to call to Juan two reports on the internal audit works. This is here. Ponte por aquí, Juan, y te comparto tu presentación.
¿Qué tal?
¿Cómo la tuya, Antonio? Sí, pues mira. A ver, tu parte, ¿dónde está? No la tengo abierta, espera. ¿Es esto, no? ¿O tuyo? Esto es. Vamos a ver. Pues ahora.
Hello to everybody. Going with the internal audit report. I put in this internal audit committee the follow-up. It was expected in the planning that was sent in January to be commented in the next internal audit committee, but in order to simplify the next one and the last internal audit committee was quite near in February, we had decided to explain here. Going with the activities, in the case of the processes that we are reviewing, we have a little delay in the case of the sales. Some information is at this moment pending to be completed, involving to the internal procedure, and some internal controls involving to the finance department that we want to share with them and to agree with them. On the other hand, we have two two internal process that we have not planned at the beginning of the internal audit plan that we have made in this quarter involves the HR in the case of Germany and Italy. In the case of Germany, we have updated the documentation because some changes involving to the calculation of the payrolls. We have a new suppliers there, and also we have a new freelance. So we have to design again the internal control because they want to change the way that they work there. In the case of Italy, the responsible in charge of the HR left the company, and relationship with the supplier has changed a little bit. So we have updated also the HR process for Italy. Going with the audits of the clinics, we have postponed Manchester because once we go to audit a clinic to another country, we want to discuss other topics with the directorate there. So as finance department told us that the migration of Navision is going to take part soon in the United Kingdom, we want to wait for the next quarter to audit the clinic. We have replaced this work with a limited review of Munich and Vienna. Both clinics are not properly. We are not the property of both clinics, but as we are providing services to them, we have made a review in order to check that the internal control is aligned with us.
But who decides for example, you said the financial department told you about the Manchester office. Mm-hmm. So who is the person which decides to choose Munich and Vienna? Are you, or this decision comes from where?
It is in order the most availability possibility to go in advance. In the case of,
but there is no rationale behind saying now, because it has 3 years we haven't visited that clinic. We are gonna go, or
that's one reason. We want to audit the surgery clinics in accordance with the strategic plan of the company for years. We want all the surgery clinics at the end of this strategic plan. We want to have the visit once, at least once. And both clinics weren't at this moment being visited. And on the other hand, despite these clinics are not owned by CareVision, because it's just an agreement with the doctor in charge of them, and we are providing services, and we are providing the IT tool. This is a discussion we have with other directors of the company to check that the internal control that is being developed in both clinics is aligned with us in order not to avoid any risk.
So your department are the ones suggesting.
Yes, to put in a discussion with other directors.
Yeah, but you are the one promoting the idea. Okay.
And in the case of Manchester, once the migration is made, we can make, for example, the discussion of the treasury process with the finance director at the same time, 2 days, and then we can go to Manchester to audit the clinic. It's just to save money in the traveling once we go to the country. So,
in the past, we used to make the visits without any notice. In the past, I remember. You remember with Carlos Otero when he was head of the auditing. I don't know if it's quite common or not.
The problem.
I like your process, but I remember that. Okay, Carlos, go without any notice because it's the real.
Yeah, you can see the real, but at the same time, it's not effective because perhaps the information is not prepared. People has meetings, and to be efficient enough is better to go in advance.
Managers of Spain told me that the problem is that as they are assuming more tasks in the daily work, it would be a recommendation just to agree a date. For example, in the case of we were expecting to audit Bilbao next time, but the manager has told me that the week that we're expecting to visit, some departments are going to visit at the same time too. So
no, it's only just
and I understand that they are other priorities.
Yes.
And on other works, health and occupational risk, that this is a work that we are doing jointly with the Spanish HR department. We are expecting to discuss it once we go to Manchester. And in the case of the sales, the penal and GDPR, once we review a process, we are not only reviewing the finance risk, we are reviewing also other category risk as penal, GDPR, or in the case, for example, of HR, health and occupational risk. So the delay here of the financial part affects to the penal. And you will find in the extended version, the audit of Coruña, there are no relevant issues to be commented except for the credentials access. This is something that we have commented in other audits. And because in this case, the manager has two characters only. So we are changing once we are going to the clinics for the critical staff with the IT department the keys. That's all.
On cybersecurity, how are we?
Cybersecurity, at this moment, we are under an internal procedure jointly with the legal department and the IT department in order to comply with the technical and organizational measures that we have to put into practice. Yes, we are working.
Yeah.
We are waiting also to the transposition of the NIS 2 because it will make us to include additional controls. And at the moment, we are under work with that.
Because the pressure in that field is quite high nowadays.
Yeah, in the next meeting, according to the calendar, we are going to explain the situation about cyber security. What is the plan and the next steps?
That's all.
Okay.
And about resources, how are you dealing with? Because
Yes,
I remember you mentioned
I discussed this question with Fernando, in charge of the Spanish HR department. We have decided this year to hire an internship person, waiting to check how is the work to be developed for the United Kingdom. Once we check, because this year we will have the first meetings with the directors in United Kingdom, and step by step check if it is needed, probably needed, but next year we will sit again and check this.
Yeah, it would be nice to have some a German and English speaker.
Yes, a German speaker we have at this moment in the team.
Yeah, but only one.
Only one.
So no, if you plan to hire a new trainee, well, just ask in the profile, in the job description, you can say a German speaker will be nice as well.
Problem is that it's difficult to find this kind of profiles because the both ones that they have given to me have the English in a high level, but they don't speak German.
Yeah, but we have a German school in Madrid, and I'm sure there will be a lot of audit candidates working for the Big Four. And well, I don't know.
We can speak with them because at this moment we are under.
If they are German speakers, they will be fluent in English as well.
Yes, probably.
That's clear.
So I will try to.
No. I think it's a good idea to speak again with the HR department and check if the German school has some candidates that given to the internal process. Yes. Thank you very much, Carmen.
Okay, no, just okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan.
Yeah.
Any questions? Okay, then move on. Hello, Juan. Okay.
Evan quería preguntar.
Está hablando.
No, yo no. Well, let's move on with the agenda. Well, the performance of the board of directors report. Okay, I share with you the report and approve the action plan 2025 by the board of directors that we talked in the last meeting. Okay. The calling to the general shareholder meeting, we have to call the general shareholder meeting, and the date is 21st May. Okay. Okay, and there is no, according to the agenda, there is no other points, but in other business, we wanted to talk about two more points. One of them is the intention of the significant shareholders to place a block of shares. Okay. I don't know if you want to explain this point, or I can do it. Okay, Ayer is intent to place up to 5% of the shares, and Vito, which is the other significant shareholder, is intended to place up to 3%. As you know, the current free float is only 12%, so this placement is very positive for the company, okay, because a reduced free float affect the liquidity of the share, limit the ability of investors to enter, and as well affect the visibility of the company in the markets. So
yes, and we are quite advanced, and probably next week will be done.
Okay.
We have been talking with all the investors, and Alantra is running all the process, and with the legal, we have 2 legal experts in this matters, because you know that is quite technique. And Antonio and Alantra are making that everything is good, and the perception from the investor is very good. It's very good, although our free float is limited. The healthcare, because we have visiting in London, Frankfurt, Paris, Madrid, and they are very open to. Then we expect, if nothing happens, well, we know that this depends on the environment. Nowadays, but if nothing is strange or nothing is extraordinary, the placement will be done next week.
Next week.
Next week, and we will make the announcement, everything.
Yes. Maybe on Wednesday we have to launch the placement. Okay, after closed markets, and then during that night is when the deal is done with the different investors, and the following morning before the opening of the markets, we have to communicate the results.
And the pricing will be end of that day.
On that night,
But I mean the pricing. The pricing will be closure.
It's depending the demand, the pricing, the discount.
Okay.
The discount we expect to be low. But this transaction should with a little discount or with a discount independent of the share price. But it depending of the real demand.
Okay.
We are positive because the broker is telling me we are very positive, but it takes some days also to
allocate the amount. Okay.
You know, this information is very inside information, very sensitive.
Very sensitive. Very sensitive. So it cannot go out.
More sensitive.
Okay. Another point we wanted to comment is the intentions to appoint 2 vice presidents.
The other point, not very important, but Ayer is going to give a lockup of 6 months, and we are going to give a lockup of 2 years, because in the meetings, wanted to that the management team that has served
a lockup for the management not to sell during that period.
And we have agreed.
Okay.
It's reasonable. I'm sorry, Antonio.
Yeah. And the last point we want to comment with you is the intention to appoint 2 vice presidents. As you know,
right now
we don't have any vice presidents, and the intention is to propose or to appoint Elaine and Eduardo as vice presidents of Clínica Baviera, or the board of directors of Clínica Baviera. You know, the president is the chairman of the Ayer Group, so their availability is not very easy. So maybe it's advisable to have two vice presidents. So this way we can improve the system of collecting and signature of the minutes.
It's something that has been
recommended
by the lawyers, and I explained when I was in China, and they told me it's very reasonable, and let's do it.
2 equal vice president. It's not vice president first and second. No. Just okay.
No.
Well, there is a point here. We have to amend a little bit the current regulation of the board, because currently that regulation states that if there is 2 or more vice presidents, there is a preeminent, preeminent with the executive vice president. So we have to amend that regulation in order that the 2 vice presidents be in the same position, equally, not to give any preference to any of the. Sorry?
Not only the executive, but the oldest one of both of them would be the first one. So the main idea is for both of them to be equal.
Equal. So maybe in the next board meeting we approve this, or we propose the approval of these 2 vice presidents. This is a decision of the board of directors.
It has to be approved by the general meeting.
No, the general shareholder meeting has to be the board of directors. The general shareholder
directors right now.
They are already directors, so it's only appointing them vice president.
The only point in relation to the general shareholder meeting is that the general shareholder meeting has to be informed about the change of the regulation of the board. Just for that reason. What?
So it will be approved in our next board.
In the next board, on the agenda will be a point to propose this appointment.
Okay. And regarding the free flow, there will be an lawyer. ¿Cómo se dice? O sea, una información relevante.
El miércoles. Después de que se cierre el mercado, anunciamos que se va a hacer esto, que se va a lanzar el bloque. Y durante la noche es cuando se cruzan, y cuando se establece el precio, y el día siguiente, antes de que abra el mercado, se lanza cuál es el resultado. 20%. Si llegamos al 5 más 3, tenemos un 12. 20% de free flow que no está mal ya.
Ya está. Sí.
Okay.
So I don't know, Eduardo, do you have any other topics to talk?
We are the Italy team mentioned that the manager of Benin is retiring because she's in the age of retiring, and she has a percentage at 20% of the company, and then we are negotiating to acquire that stake. That Benin is also in Albacete. The doctor is retired, and then is 10% are a small acquisitions, but we are running that because the company has now 33 years old, and when we started, the range of the people was 25-35. Now is 25-72. Then some minority stakes, it will happen.
Okay. Any question, any comments from China? Ivan, Don, Chen?
No, we're all good.
Okay, it's night there. Friday night.
Yes.
Always night.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your attendance. See you in the next board meeting.
You see the lights there? Okay. You see the lights there? Is the other building in the back. Okay. The lights are up.
Oh, yes. Yes.
There are the lights of the other building. They are the twin towers. Yeah. One is the headquarters and another is the twin tower. During the night, the light is...
The twin building.
They are in... What floor are you, Ivan? You are in the top floor?
We are on the 23rd floor. So on the hospital, we have 21 floors there.
And they have a light that is from
flashing. Yes, the lights the new lights are flashing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.